Welcome to our podcast, Patchwork Spirituality. I am Elaine Ginn, the Paradigm Shifter, and we are here to examine issues that matter in our lives and talk about things that help us to understand how the universe works and how we can enrich our experiences on the planet. Your soul is welcome here. A friend asked me recently, why do you call your podcast Patchwork Spirituality? And that is one reason I named it that, to make people curious enough to see what it is all about. At first, it may seem to be a strange juxtaposition of terms, and I'm hoping that will bring more people to the podcast. But of course, there is more to the title than that. My most recent book is titled Patchwork. That book is about many things, including caring for my parents in their last years, when they were dealing with many illnesses and difficulties of aging. My mother had medication patches for her arthritis pain and a nitroglycerin patch for her heart. We went through difficult patches just in dealing with all of the issues that arose, including her hip fracture. It also chronicles my experiences with my own illness and subsequent patching up with a liver and kidney transplant. I was patching up my parents, and I was being patched up. As I was going through this journey, it occurred to me that each of us was important to the other, and not just my parents, my brother, and myself, but each person in a family, in the community, in any social group, friends, clubs, classmates, and so on, is a unique and valuable piece in the patchwork of life. Each person makes a special contribution to those in his immediate environment, and that impact ripples throughout the world. To further explain, allow me to quote some thoughts from Ella Wilcox Wheeler. So many gods, so many creeds, so many paths that wind and wind, while just the art of being kind is all the sad world needs. She lived from 1850 to 1919, 100 years ago. In fact, the Dalai Lama himself says that his religion is kindness. We live in a world that grows smaller each moment. Just a short century ago, people were so excited about the newfangled Model T. Communication was far slower. To deliver a message across the globe faster than an ocean liner, they sent telegraphs. Folks at home got updates on World War II through newsreels at the movies. People grew up with their parents' religion, and they didn't get much exposure to other religions or the beliefs of other people who seemed to live in another world, although they were sharing ours at a distance. That distance has disappeared with modern communication and travel. There remains a somewhat tribal mentality, but if we care to look closely, we can discern the similarities and glean that the underlying purpose of religion has been to make sense of our world. If we wish to be aware, we can delve more into the beliefs of many religions and ponder our own interpretation of the truth with a capital T. After considering these issues of spirituality since high school, when we had a section on world religions in my English class, thank you, Mr. Evans, I have contrived a patchwork of beliefs derived from a variety of different philosophies and faiths, and reached a place of peace and understanding that works for me. I know that many people do this for themselves, especially in this point in history when we are exposed to so many ideas and people from all over the world. It is easier to see that all people want to love and be loved, make a contribution, and know that they are valuable. It is more difficult to be judgmental about little things, because we see people of different backgrounds and heritage, religions and history, lifestyles and talents being productive before our very eyes, being kind and helpful, creative and inspiring. It comes down to a softening of our hearts, releasing fears and prejudices, and holding on to a yearning to know the truth. We have to be willing to let go of our preconceived notions and be open to new perspectives and new paradigms. Then we could find ourselves with an entire colorful and diverse world for us to embrace, and an entire world to support us